The largest live streaming platform that there is. The platform has over 400 million users globally, if not more, 500 million downloads, and it's in over 150 countries. All right. This platform is what you make of it. You can be extremely successful on this platform if you're utilizing it the right way. BIGO does have rules that you should abide by to prevent you from getting into trouble, and it can be easily done. You can still be very successful on this platform without breaking the rules. So before I continue, I also have a Discord that it's basically an encyclopedia of a ton of useful information. If you guys are not yet on the Discord, or if you are but you haven't had the opportunity to sift through it, I highly suggest it because there's tons of information there. I try to update it as well as new things become available.
No, you're not going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble, girl.
All right. So could I ask that everyone, thank you. Okay. Let's see. So we'll go over diamonds versus beans. Diamonds is what is purchased. Okay. Beans is what you earn. So when you have a supporter that comes into your stream and they purchase, or as we call it, recharge on the app, then they are buying diamonds. The diamonds, when they send them to you, they're instantly converted to beans. So basically, the beans is what makes us money. All right. So beans is earned, diamonds is purchased. Now, if you want to gift somebody, you can gift them with the beans that you've earned, but we have to keep in mind that it is a 4-to-1 ratio. So when you're gifting someone and it's coming from your wallet, it is a 4-to-1. It is going to be the best option as far as gifting goes instead of recharging, unless you want to take advantage of being a VIP or an SVIP. With SVIPs, they have lots of perks and advantages to being an SVIP. The SVIPs are basically the ones who, if you will, run the app because they are the biggest spenders on the app. They invest the most money in the app. So anytime you see an SVIP come into your room, that means that they like to spend money on the platform. So I would pay them extra close attention. Now, it's imperative that you pay everybody attention. You know, you try to engage with your audience because everyone starts somewhere. You never know. You could have a level 1 come into your room, and then all of a sudden one day, you know, they've been coming in your room, and then one day they just drop, you know, a dragon on you, or they spoil you and they drop all kinds of large gifts on you because they've been watching you, they've been studying you, you're watching your stream and appreciating you. So everyone starts somewhere. So it is imperative to treat everybody with the same respect. But as you are getting gifted, I do recommend, you know, you pay extra close attention to those who are supporting you at the time, because they are spending their hard-earned money on you when they are coming into their streams. So when you are receiving gifts, whether it's from another host that is an active host on the platform, or whether it's just from a viewer who is recharging, if you will, and purchasing diamonds to gift you, they are still sending you money. Okay, so the money is coming from somewhere. So throughout the month, when you are receiving gifts, you are receiving tips all month long. So the tips that you find in your wallet, that is your money to either spend, pay it forward, support people that support you. And when I say that, I mean fellow hosts that are coming in and supporting you, because there's plenty of people on this platform that are not active hosts, but they more so like to visit the host streams and support them. So your tips are yours to do whatever you want with them. They do not affect your tier. Your tier is completely separate. Your tier is based off of all of the beans that you collect from the first of the month to the very last day of the month. All right. So you're getting tips all month long. As long as you're going live, you're being consistent and you're getting gifted, you are being tipped. Okay. So that is completely separate than your base pay that is on the 4th of the month. Now, when we get paid on the 4th of the month, it's usually late at night when pay hits. I will post here in the chat that pay has went through and to check your wallets. Because basically on the 4th, what I do is I go through everything and I make sure that everyone's numbers align. Everyone's got their hours. Everyone's got the beans that they need to hit, the tier they need to hit. And, make sure everything lines up so that way you are getting your full pay. And then also keep in mind that makes me think of this. So with your wallets, I do not have access to your wallet. You are the only one who has access to your wallet unless you've ever given away your PIN. The only money that ever comes through my end to you is the monthly base pay or commission, whatever you want to call it. So that's the monthly pay that hits on the 4th of every single month, as long as you hit a tier. You have to be hitting tiers in order to get paid on the 4th. So as long as you're collecting beans and you're getting the hours, you will get a payout on the chart. All right. If you are short on hours whatsoever, you will not get full pay. All right. So hours are imperative. BIGO counts 2 hours per day max. That doesn't mean that you can't go live for 5, 6, 8, 12, 24 hours in, a 1-day period. You can go live for as long as you want. The more time that you spend on live, the more money and the higher the tiers you are likely to hit, because you are more likely collecting more beans. So the more beans that you collect, the more money that you'll make. But just be mindful that it's only 2 hours per day that is counted for the time towards your tier. All right. So 2 hours per day per month. So if you end up short a half hour on your time, but you got the beans on the chart. Let's see. So for example, say you hit the 230K tier. Okay. But you're short a half hour. You're short 15 minutes. So you went live 32 hours and 45 minutes. You're short 15 minutes, right? You will only get the max payout of the 110K tier, half of that. So that's only $475. So this is where hours are so critical, you guys, because the max payout that they will pay you if you are short on hours is that 110K tier. So that is the A tier. All right. So for example, say if you got 50,000 beans in the month, but you were short on hours. So that the hours that are required on that tier are 32 hours. Again, say you're an hour short, you're a half hour short. Again, so, and you got 50,000 beans, then you're only going to get half of that 510 payout. Okay. So what is that? 255. So you have to get your hours, guys. Make sure you are getting your hours. You can keep track of the beans that you're collecting and your hours under your live data. There's a couple different places that you can access that. One place would be in your wallet. If you click on wallet and then click on beans, and then if you scroll down, you'll see where it says live data. That is the truest live data. All right. Be mindful that it can take 48 hours for it to reflect any beans that you have recently received. But you'll also want to be watching your live data for your in-region versus out-of-region or overseas beans, because overseas beans do not count towards our region tiers. Okay. That is a completely separate pay chart. If you are getting gifted from overseas gifters, now when I say overseas, it's every place except for the United States and Canada, because that is our region. That is a completely separate pay chart, which I have provided for all of you. It's also on the Discord. I can provide it for you if you would like it. But you have to hit a minimum of 20,000 beans on that pay chart to get a payout. Okay. So the payout definitely isn't as much. But what you need to be doing is you need to be subtracting your overseas beans from your overall beans that you've collected. Because again, they don't count towards it. So you're going to want to overcompensate every single month. All right. So that way to make sure that you're hitting your tier. Let's see. So 210 diamonds equals 210 beans. So 210 beans equals $1. Your minimum cash out per week. You can cash out once per week. All right. The minimum is $32 or 6,700 beans. The max cash out per week is $5,000 or 1,050,000 beans. Okay. So be mindful of that when it comes to payday. Payday is on the 4th of every single month. As long as you hit a tier, that's most likely going to be your, what you look forward to as your bigger payout. So be mindful of that. So like if you cash out 3 days before payday, you're going to have to wait 7 days before you can cash out again. All right. Your first cash out, I do recommend and suggest that you do the smallest cash out just to make sure that everything clears, it makes it to your bank, and there's no issues. All right. So learn from my mistake. My very first cash out on this app was around $400. I entered my bank account information wrong by literally one number, and I lost that money. So I haven't had any issues since, but please learn from my mistake and do your first cash out, the minimum cash out, just to make sure everything is smooth, everything gets to your bank account. After it gets to your bank account, then you know you're good to go. As long as you do not share your PIN with anyone else, all right? You protect your PIN to your wallet with your life. You share it with no one. I will never ask for it. I will never message you asking you for it. That protects your personal information, your money, all right? And on that note, this just reminds me when people are messaging you and they send you links in your inbox, never, ever, ever click on them because they can hack your account. All right. Unless it's a verified link by BIGO. So most of the links that you'll get from BIGO are going to be in your official messages section. Every now and then you'll get a verified link in your main messages, but it'll have like a green check mark next to it. So, and you'll know what I mean when you see one. So protect your wallet. And again, I do not have access to your wallet. All right. Let's see. So does the pay chart make sense to you guys then? Based off of how I explained it. So, for example, so 2 hours per day is counted. So if you need to get 30 hours in the month, all right, to hit this 20K tier, for example, then you have to be going live 2 hours minimum for 15 days to hit that tier. All right. And so on and so forth. So obviously the more beans that you receive throughout the month, the more hours that they require as the pay chart goes up. So be mindful of that. I always recommend that people, if you're able to go live every single day for the first 15 days, so that way you can get your hours in, then you don't have to worry about your hours. Then all you worry about is collecting those beans and watching your tier go up higher and higher and higher. Also, the tiers, the pay chart starts over every single month. All right. So you start from 0 every single month. Even though you're accumulating beans, an overall total of beans, you'll notice that on your profile and when you're live. That's just your overall collected beans. All right. So that has nothing to do with the tiers or the pay chart. The pay chart starts over monthly. All right. So you have the first through the last of the month. So whether the month is 31 days, 28 days, also be mindful of that. All right. So 2 hours per day is counted. The other thing is too, when you go to set up your wallet, you'll be able to do that the first time when you go to do your first cash out. And again, if it's your first cash out, please, I recommend only doing $32. You can do a bigger cash out, but just double, triple, quadruple check your bank account and your routing information. And then I do recommend using AirWallets. For your third party. You do not have to download an additional app to do this. It walks you through everything right on the app. I know a lot of people get confused with that. So everything is done right through the app. All right. And then you're going to have to go through the verification process. You'll only ever have to do that one time. All right. So that's basically verifying your identity. And that way they can help get that money to you. All right. So does everyone understand the pay chart before I move on? May, do you understand the pay chart? Onyx, do you understand it? I know you guys are newer.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, good deal. So, and we will keep going then. All right. And definitely, I recommend coming to training more than once. It's a ton of information to take in, you guys. Come to training, have yourself a BIGO notebook where you can take notes, all right? Because it is a ton of information. I'm always here to answer your questions. Reach out to me. I try to be really diligent as far as getting back to you guys pretty quickly. I have a lot on my plate. I'm juggling a lot, but I do my best to get back to you guys. But again, you know, a lot of times, a lot of your questions can be answered through the Discord as well if you just go through there and look through that. So always, you know, definitely use all of your resources for sure. All right, so I'm going to go over some of the common bans. So absolutely no drugs or paraphernalia, including medications or alcohol, is allowed on live stream. All right, so I wouldn't even recommend taking vitamins on live stream because the AI system might pick it up as you're popping a pill or something. You know, it's just not worth it. Don't do it on live stream. If you're going to have some drinks, just do it in an unmarked cup. You know, no beer bottles, no liquor bottles, no wine bottles, nothing like that. I hate to see you catch a ban for that. No smoking. If you're going to smoke, put your face outside of the screen. There can be smoke on the screen, but never let the screen see a vape pen, a cigarette, a joint, nothing. Anything you're smoking on, always make sure it's out of the screen. All right. And always pay attention to your surroundings. If there's anybody behind you, make sure there are no children behind you. They used to allow children on the platform, but now it's a no-go. Like they are banning people left and right for it, which I'm actually happy about. I don't feel like there's a need to have children on here because you just never know who's watching. This is a public broadcast live streaming platform, and it's like there's creeps out there. You know, protect your babies. So I'm happy that they changed this. Let's see. So no children are allowed anymore. No smoking, no doxing. Doxing is basically where you're disclosing someone's personal information on live stream. Do not do that. All right. No weapons, not even toy weapons or anything that might resemble a weapon or a kitchen knife. None of that. Okay. No driving. If you're going to drive, I don't recommend it, but the workaround is to put up a magic background. No scantily clad clothing. I do have examples of the type of clothing that are allowed versus, you know, what's not allowed. Now, I can't promise that it's up to date because, again, when the app was down in December and they came back, they've made some adjustments. So they've definitely been tightening things up just because they got taken out of the Apple Store and they had to, basically come into compliance with the United States rules in order to get back on the Apple Store. So they had to make some changes. So just be mindful of what you're wearing. No swimsuits. The only time a swimming suit is allowed is when you're by a body of water. If you're at the beach, it's okay. If you're at a swimming pool, it's okay. If you're in a hot tub, it's okay. If you're in your living room, don't do it. You'll get banned. All right. And when we get banned, they now have a thing where it's like, there's a no-go. It used to be where you could find an SVIP and ask them or work something out with them where they could use points to get you unbanned. But now they've really cracked down and there are unbannable offenses. I'm actually going to scroll back because we have those in the chat. The irrevocable bans are violence, Okay. Suicide, weapons, gambling, fraudulent content violations, animal abuse, hunting, drug related activities, inappropriate sexual conduct and or content and behaviors, hateful speech, religion and political, prison live streams. All of those are irrevocable, you guys. Okay, so be very careful. BIGO is for 18 plus. Streamers under the age of 18 are prohibited and will be banned. Severe violations, including trafficking, exploitation, or creation and distribution of explicit content involving minors, will result in strict penalties. Third-party platforms. BIGO Live strictly prohibits promoting and linking third-party payment platforms such as Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, in-streams, profiles, or cover photos. Violations may result in bans, reward deductions, or removal from the platform to prevent fraud and illegal risk. Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it. The other thing is, don't ever promote an OnlyFans or an OF. That is highly just, they frown upon it. You will get a permanent ban for it. Don't do it. Don't promote other live streaming platforms. Now you can talk about Instagram because Instagram, for whatever reason, I guess they work together. Let's see how to appeal. So if you guys do end up getting banned, I always recommend definitely trying to appeal it. So in order to appeal, you got to log out, log back in, and access the self-service appeal page. Submit your appeal as instructed, and it will process within 3 days. For other questions, contact customer service. All right. Let's see. So be mindful of that. Those are new changes with the platform. So there are irrevocable bans. All right. Let's see. Otherwise, other times there's other rules. If you do break them, you have like a 10-day ban, a 30-day ban, a 1-year ban, you have a 10-year ban, you have a permanent ban. So just, it's not worth breaking the rules, guys. I've been on this app almost 2 years, and I've been banned one time, and I wasn't even thinking, and I had this selenite blade, and it looks like a knife, but it's a wand. And I wrapped it with leather, and I was just showing my stream. I'm like, look how pretty this turned out, you guys. I wrapped it with leather. I was showing it off. Boom. I got a 20-minute ban. And luckily, that's all it was at that time. But I didn't think anything of it, Otherwise, I've never been banned because, I know what the rules are. I know what to do, what not to do. And it's my job to teach you guys that as well, because I want to see you succeed. We don't need to break rules to succeed, because all it's going to do is it's going to hold you back. All right. There's so much money that can be made on this platform, you guys. So much money. Let's see. I would not recommend following every person that comes into your live stream that says follow them. You run the risk of spam and hackers in your inbox, like I had mentioned before. They can hack you if you click on an exterior link in your inbox that wasn't sent in official messages, okay? Then getting your account back is basically impossible. I personally only follow back people that support my stream and my hosts, of course, and people in my agency and people in my family. But otherwise, incentivize. Think about different ways that you can incentivize people to gift you. So if somebody's coming around your live stream and they're gifting you, you can pick a number. Say, okay, 1,000 beans all time. You gift me 1,000 beans all time, I will follow you, right? I'll follow you back. You pick the number, though. You determine what's best for you, but just think, incentivize. How can you incentivize? Because again, if you're here to make money, we have to think of ways that we can make money tastefully and the right way, by being entertainers. Because us on BIGO, we are basically, being a live broadcaster, you are an entertainer. And BIGO is what you make of it. Now, some people come on BIGO, they're like, yeah, I want to make money, right? But to them, it becomes just a hangout, and they end up in these comfort zones. If you get stuck in these comfort zones, you're most likely not going to do that great unless, it depends on the people you're hanging around. If you pay attention to their numbers, their experience, stuff like that, that can make a difference. But if you're hanging around with people who are hardly hitting tiers and you're getting stuck in panels with them, you're going to go nowhere fast. All right. I recommend doing solos. Solos is where the money's at. Make sure you're always engaging. Try to engage in conversation, chat with people, be friendly, be especially friendly to your gifters. Pay them extra close attention. Okay. Um, Incentivize. So a couple different ways that you can incentivize is you can do shout outs, you can do raffles. If you're a musician or you have a special talent, do special performances or do like a feature on your profile. Now they took away the bar where you could post stuff on your page, but you can still post, I think it's what, like 6, 8 pictures, something like that. So you could always, make some kind of flyer with a shout out to your top gifters. You can also message people by going to your contribution list and doing a shout out to all of your supporters that way. I do recommend doing that after a really good stream, where it says message your supporters at the very end of your stream, and you get that screen that basically tells you what they're grading your stream. You can click the little message thing, and you can send a mass thank you to the people that supported your stream. So it will send a message to everybody who sent you beans. All right. And again, beans is what gets us paid. And always, always, always acknowledge your gifters. Don't be that live streamer that ignores people that are literally spending their money on you. Don't do that. Oh my God, it's a pet peeve. Love on them because they're loving on you. All right. Let's see. I definitely recommend signing up for rebates, official PKs, featured events, Live House, BIGO TV. Sign up for all of these events. So basically what they are is when you sign up for these events and you read the details, always read the details of anything you're signing up for, okay? Reading is everything on this app. But basically what they are is when you sign up for them and you're going live anyways, say for example, the rebate is a 62%, I'm just picking numbers, all right? It's a 62% rebate and you got to hit a minimum of 3,000 beans within that hour, or within 20 minutes of being live within that hour, all right? As long as you hit that, then you get 62% more back, all right? So the rebates are there to help you make more money and help you hit higher tiers. Also with your official PKs, and when you get messages in your official messages from BIGO saying you have an official PK at this date at this time, and this is your opponent, do your due diligence, contact your opponent, and just confirm with them that they're going to be there. Follow them so that way you can line them if the system doesn't automatically do it for you. Okay. Sign up, or if you're going to sign up for official PK, show up, because if the system is detecting that you're not showing up, all of a sudden they will take your official PKs away for the month. All right. Live House or BIGO TV is a fantastic opportunity to get lots and lots of exposure. So sign up for all kinds of events, but especially if you can get into a Live House or BIGO TV, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Any opportunity for more exposure, the more success you're going to find on this platform, all right? Consistency is everything. Consistency, persistency, and patience is everything. And network as well. So if you're not live yourself, go into other live streams and hop in on panels and chat with people. But please don't ever self-promote in the way where you go in there and you're like, hey, I go live at this time, at this hour, this date, or whatever, unless the host asks you and they lead you into that conversation, then go ahead and answer them. But don't go out of your way to like self-promote in other people's streams. It's the quickest way to get booted and blocked. All right. So always read the room too. Be mindful, streamer etiquette for one another, including, family members. Also, this is a give and take, especially when it comes to hosts coming and gifting you. Make sure that you're paying attention to who's supporting you and pay it forward. Go visit them too and go support them too. Because don't be surprised if you're not supporting them back. Don't be surprised if they stop showing up and they stop supporting you. All right. It's different when it's a supporter that isn't a live streamer themselves. There's tons of people like that on this app who just want to support because they have fun watching, they have fun being a viewer, and they are not active hosts themselves. But be mindful of that. If you have active hosts coming and supporting you, try to, go pop in and see them and show them a little love back as well. All right. So, that definitely accounts for networking. All right. All right. And with more exposure, comes more followers, comes more gifters, comes more money. All right. Higher the tiers. When picking dates and times for rebates, you're going to have to convert the time. So be mindful that everything on this platform is based in PST time, so California time. So basically, for example, if it's 2 p.m. PST, then it is actually 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Central, or 5 p.m. Eastern. So if it's Mountain Time, you have to add an hour. If it's Central Time, 2 hours. If it's Eastern Time, add 3 hours. All right. And the day starts over. So you have a 24-hour period to hit your goals every single day. So when I say goals, that means the little stars or the heat that you see at the top of your screen where it says you need this many gifters, this many beans to hit the first star. So I think it's 2 gifters, 50 beans to hit the first star. After that, it's 200 beans. I can't remember how many gifters. I'm going to guess 4. I don't have the sheet in front of me. But as you go up on that, the more money you're going to make. I say a good goal for the day is between 5 stars to 1 box. So basically 10,000 beans to 20,000 beans in a day. If you're hitting that daily, you are going to make really good money. All right. Even 5,000 a day is good. Anything you can get, though, collect. Because just remember, the more beans you make, the more money you make, as long as you get those hours. All right. So the 24-hour period to hit those goals starts over at 12 a.m. PST, 1 a.m. Mountain Time, 2 a.m. Central Time, 3 a.m. Eastern. So basically what that means is if you're on the East Coast, you can basically hit your goals between 3 a.m. and 3 a.m. The new day starts over for you at 3 a.m. All right. Central Time, it starts over at 2 a.m. That's your 24-hour period that you can basically get your 2 hours in too. So, and when you sign up for these events, they're going to ask you things like your email address, your WhatsApp number, your agency leader's WhatsApp number. My number is +1 239 938 4197. And then it'll ask you for the agency name. It is pronounced SeidrSway Live Agency. So it's SeidrSway Live Agency. Your family name, if you're in a family. All right. So if you're in the Viking Dynasty, then the family name is Viking Dynasty. So you can sign up for events under your Creator Center, or you can sign up for events by going to www.onbigo, so onbigo.live, LIVE. All right, so they'll have all the events in there that you can sign up for. The other place, I post them in our WhatsApp chat. Anytime new events become available, I will always post them in this chat right here, the paid host live agency chat. So if you go in there and you see the list, you can go ahead and sign up there. A lot of times BIGO will send you events too in your official messages where you can sign up. So there's lots of different places to, find these events to sign up. All right. Your BIGO ID. So once you are officially a paid host, everyone in here is a paid host. So once you're officially a host, you can change your BIGO ID. You have one opportunity to change it. So make sure that you pick something that you want to stick with. Your BIGO ID is basically, if you will, it's your identity, your social security card of the app, if you will. It's how people find you. They don't really, like when you sign up for events, they ask you for your BIGO ID, not your screen name, all right? Your screen name can be changed at any time. Your BIGO ID, you have one opportunity to change it. I recommend making it unique to you but not challenging for others to find you. If you have other social media platforms, have it correlate with those, so that way people can, find you that are on other platforms. But just be mindful that you only have one opportunity to change it, and once it's changed, it's done. Now, you can find an SVIP and pay points. That costs a lot of money. So just pick something you like to begin with, because, yeah, it's challenging to change after that. Let's see. So the different types of broadcast you have the virtual live, the multi-guest live, the live solo, the audio, and the game live. The only ones that count towards your hours is if you are the host of the multi-guest live, and the live solo. All right. And so what I mean by that is you're the one who started the multi-guest live, and or panel, aka panel. All right. So if you're sitting in a friend's panel or someone else's panel, the beans that you collect will count, but the hours do not. All right. So you have to be the host of that stream in order for the hours to count. Virtual live, audio live, and game do not count towards your hours. All beans you collect do count towards your tiers, but not towards your hours as far as those options. Let's see. All right. In a multi-guest live, you can have anywhere from 4, 6, 9, 12 guests. I don't recommend doing a ton of panels unless your panel is a themed panel, or if you hit a goal. Again, it's another opportunity to incentivize. So you could be like, all right, guys, if we get to a box, I'll open up a panel, and then I'll allow my supporters or anybody who has sent me 1,000 beans today, they can come up on my panel. So it's another great way to incentivize, but if you hit a goal, all right? So always be thinking of different innovative ways that you can, help incentivize to help hit these goals, right? Let's see. All right, I'm going to run down the suggestions, and then we can move into questions. Sorry, I know it's a ton of information, you guys. All right, so setting admins. Be careful who you set as admins in your live stream. You can always be your own admin, but again, you could always incentivize that as well. Your top supporters, you could set them as admins, but make sure that you set your ground rules. You let them know, listen, here's what I expect. Please don't go kick happy, all right? Mute first. I do recommend that you mute people first before kicking them, because it hurts your algorithm on the app if the app is detecting a ton of kickouts. All right, they're going to move you down on the algorithm. So always mute first if you're not liking a troll or you don't want to deal with what someone's saying. Unless it's somebody that you really don't want in your live stream, by all means, kick them, boot them, block them. All right, with good reason, right? So you can set people as admins when they come into your live stream by clicking on their name as you see them in the chat. And then when you click on their name, there'll be a little icon at the upper left-hand corner when their little profile box pops up, and it'll say manage. You click on manage, and then you can click set as admin. That's also how you boot people and block people or mute people from your stream. Greet as many as you can as they're coming in, especially in between conversation. Always try to keep it entertaining. So I understand if you're in like mid conversation, it's hard to sit there and say hi to everyone. But if there's a break in the conversation, then greet people. Kind of bounce back and forth. Especially people that come in and they have your fan badge. All right, definitely set up your fan badge if you haven't set it up yet. That's on your main page. Again, that's another thing where you only have one opportunity to set it up. So whatever you set it as, that's what it stays as, unless you find an SVIP to use points to change it for you. But the fan badge is really cool because when people come into your stream and they send you gifts, they will have their fan badge next to their name. So whether or not you remember who that person in particularly is, you'll know that they've sent you beans because they have your fan badge. So definitely set that up. So greet as many as you can. Definitely thank your gifters. Gifts is what gets us paid. Encourage gifting. I every so often in my stream, I'll say, hey, welcome in everybody. My name is Freya. If you're new here, if you haven't already, please hit that follow, tap that screen, share the live. Don't be mean, flick some beans. Or if I'm doing some kind of raffle, I'll say this is what I'm raffling off. Or if I'm doing some kind of event or game or whatever it is, again, help promote, hey, gift me, this is how we make money. And even if you feel uncomfortable asking for beans, just know that a majority of people that are on this platform who have been here long enough understand and know that this is a money making app, and they get used to people asking for beans. All right. If you don't ask for beans, you might not get gifted, so it's okay to ask and remind people, like, this is what I do. Help support my stream. If you enjoy me, please help support. Definitely stay engaged. It helps to grow your follows. Talent helps too, especially when you're new. Be personable. Tapping is similar to liking a post. It helps boost your algorithm. All activity in your stream helps boost your algorithm. So that is what contributes to that heat. So at the top, when you see your daily goals with the stars that go up to the box, it alternates with that flame. So that flame is actually showing you where you're at on the heat list, all right, and how popular you are at that moment. So the higher that number is, that by that flame, the more popular your stream is, and the hotter your stream is. Okay. How to see your current live time. So you guys can always check to see how long you've been live by putting if you're in a solo, you put your finger on the screen and you pull down while you're live. All right. You can see exactly how long you've been live. And then you can also change the title of your stream by doing that. You can change your thumbnail picture by doing that. I do recommend that you guys, try to switch up your thumbnail picture every so often. It almost kind of creates clickbait, if you will, because maybe your other picture wasn't bringing in people that it might bring in the next time when you change the picture. So it helps keep things interesting. So I do recommend switching your picture up every so often. Make an appealing background or atmosphere. Get yourself a tapestry. They're very inexpensive to start. I don't expect you to go and spend a fortune to have this amazing setup when you're first starting out. As you progress and as you succeed, and the more money you make and the more successful you become, of course, invest more into it. And remember that anything that you're investing into your live stream, this is a business and you can write it off with your taxes. All right. I do recommend, because you guys are independent contractors with the agency, make sure what I recommend. I've been self-employed myself since 2012. What I have always done with taxes is I've gotten myself 2 separate checking accounts. So one checking account is where my income from my businesses come in. And then my other account, which is for my personal finances. So basically I give myself an allowance. So one account is my business account. And when I need money for personal expenses, I transfer money to my personal account. All right. So then I can use my business account for tax time. So anything that you use for your stream, you can purchase with your business account. So that way, everything is right there for you when it comes to tax time. You guys are all responsible for filing and taking care of your own taxes. You can get yourself a tax person, go to H&R Block or wherever. If this is your first time doing this, but you are self-employed independent contractors. Let's see. Clean up your appearance. Always look your best. Audiences appreciate the effort. I'm not saying if you're somebody that doesn't wear makeup to wear makeup, you don't, not like that. Just put your best face forward. You know what I mean? Just make sure your hair's brushed and, Now, people like to see the real you. You can have your casual streams. You can have your dolled up streams, whatever you want to call it. But just be mindful of, presentation, again, because you're an entertainer. Leaving your screen unattended for too long will end your stream. There's absolutely no sleep streaming allowed either. If the system detects a sleep stream or you've left your screen unattended too long, it'll hang up. Enough hangups will lead to a ban. So make sure if you're going to get up to use the bathroom, you go as quick as possible and come back, or whatever it is you have to do, go quickly, come back. I do recommend doing lining people or PKs for exposure and networking. Do randoms if you're bored. or PK with people that you've met on the platform. Jump on other people's panels or multi-lives. Let's see. I don't recommend letting random people in the box unless it's an audio or it's brief. Again, you can use that to incentivize. If somebody's gifting, sure, let them jump up in the box for a few minutes to say hello. But otherwise, as you have new people coming in there and you have somebody sitting in your box, big gifters are just going to keep moving. They're going to be bored. They're most likely not going to hang around. All right. So it's very important to stay engaged with your audience. Because if you're too focused on a different person, they're more likely to move on. All right. Plus, you don't want to let random people in the box because you don't want to jack in the box. All right. If you're picking up what I'm laying down. First cash out tends to take the longest. Make sure you all go through the code of conduct and the list of banned offenses, please. Metrics and data on the app show more hours equate to higher tiers. Consistency is important. Try to go live at the same time daily or throughout the day if you're able. I get it. Not everyone is able to do that realistically, but if you can, I recommend it. If you can jump on live 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, you're going to have different crowds on those days. All right. So you'll pick up new gifters and new supporters on those days. If you're going live at different times. Let's see. Share your BIGO ID on other social media platforms. You can also you can share like a direct link on your other platforms if you want to have people that you know outside of the platform coming and finding you on BIGO to support you on BIGO. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper, go ahead and write this down. It is www.bigo.tv/user, USER / and then your BIGO ID, whatever your BIGO ID is. That's a direct link to your profile. All right. Let's see. All right. I'm almost through my suggestions here. All right. So there is a business side of the platform where you basically do equal swaps with one another. The only time that's really beneficial is if it's at the end of the month or if it's during high rebates, then it's beneficial. There's a quote unquote business side of the app, but then you have your organic side. The reason why I recommend trades at the end of the month, say it's the end of the month, you have a day left, for a fact that you can't hit this tier, but you're so close and it's a matter of a couple thousand beans or $30 worth to make you hit that tier, then it's worth working out a trade. All right. And make sure when you're doing trades, if you're going to do a swap or whatever, don't use the word trade or swap on the app, but if you're going to work out business, make sure that you have it in communication. A lot of times that's communicated on the back end. And what I mean by the back end, I mean WhatsApp. So, somebody that that you can trust to do this with, have it in writing where you both basically agree to a swap at a certain time and a certain amount. All right. So that's basically your receipt. I don't recommend the word of mouth, like just going into a stream being like, okay, I dropped this. Now you got to drop this on me. No, that's not how that works. That'll get you nowhere. So, bad business is not good business. So definitely plan it out before you send it if you're going to do the business side of things. Hosts versus non-hosts. All right. So, sending beans to people that are not hosts, those beans are only worth 20%. All right. Versus, they're based off of rebates, the beans are worth 60% more for people that are hosts. If you're gifting somebody who is not an active paid host, you're basically throwing your money away. Let's see. It's a 1-to-4 ratio when it comes to your wallet. Yeah, when you're gifting other people. Yeah. Okay, and then when you're say if you're in a live stream and people are doing PKs, make sure that the little bubble that you want, like the person that you want to gift, make sure their bubble is clicked. Because I can't tell you how often people end up gifting the wrong person. And, and especially if it's a large amount, it could be like, ouch. And you don't ever want to be like, oh my God, I gifted the wrong person, because now all of a sudden you have that person kind of feeling crappy. You know what I mean? So just pay attention to who you're gifting and make sure that the bubble is selected on the person that you're trying to gift. All right. And then inactivity for a long time leads to your algorithm falling off for most. So again, consistency is everything. Solos make the money versus hangouts, getting stuck in comfort zones with panels. We went over that. My job as your agency leader is to teach you the platform. Agencies and families are completely separate. Just because you're in my agency doesn't mean you have to be in my family. I just ask for open communication. When, if you do decide to go to a different family. Now, being in my family, it makes it a little easier for me to catch you live in order for me to go in and help support. But I do have a certain standard for my family. If people are basically caught bad mouthing one another in a public broadcast or trash talking among, just distasteful things, then, you can be subject to removal just because I have a certain standard. And I really want our family to focus on positivity and definitely having one another's back and being grown-ups, be professional in that manner. We are grown adults and we need to respect one another, especially when it comes to a live broadcast. We have to remember that live streaming is public. Too many people forget that when you're live and you feel like you're just there with a few of your friends and you guys are talking, you never know who might come in and catch what, see what. Act like your great grandma's coming in to watch your stream, okay? Like it's public when you're on a public live stream. So be mindful of that. Do trades with people you can trust, follow through, written communication. I do recommend screenshotting your monthly contribution list to know who to pay it forward to or support based off of who supported you for the month. So at the very end of the month, go to your monthly contribution, take a screenshot of it. Then you can see exactly how much each host has dropped on you. So you know who to help out the next month and who to pay it forward to, all right? When it comes to other hosts. This is a give and take when it comes to hosts. Again, there's lots of supporters that don't host themselves and they just, they find somebody they really like and they want to support you. But you have to remember there's two sides of it. Let's see. So it's a give and take. If you don't support who supports you, don't be shocked when you don't get support from them anymore. All right. And be mindful, too, with the people that you're hanging around. I had mentioned this before, how, the people that you're hanging around will determine your success as well. So if you see people that are hitting higher numbers or whatever, then you're more likely to have more success as well. It's okay to learn from other people. All right. Especially if you want to be successful and you want to make good money on this app, because it does take time, but I will tell you what, if you allow this app to change your life, it can absolutely change your life. And then before you know it, you're making thousands of dollars. Just remember, though, you have to be patient and you have to want it. So this app is exactly what you make it. All right. So that's where I say don't get stuck in your comfort zones of hanging out, on the panels and with, people that aren't really making money. So network, get out there. Do random PKs. You never know, for every 10th random PK, you might have one amazing PK and you network with somebody and then you hit it off and all of a sudden they're coming in, dropping on you and showing you lots of love, and you just never know who you're going to meet. So I do recommend the random PKs. All right. I think that pretty much sums it up